And so I wanted to talk a little bit about your trading style and what type of style you eventually found to be most comfortable with. So can you talk a little bit about when you started to find consistency in your trading after just chasing these random stocks that you saw on Twitter?
Yeah, so a little bit, after constantly like giving back on these chases and these very fast moving small caps and doing a little bit more research, I came across Kulamagi. I'm sure most of you are familiar with him, Christian Kulamagi. He spoke, a few weeks ago at Traders for a Cause. Very well-known trader, very successful trader. And I went through almost all of his material hundreds of times over, his website, his YouTube videos, other people's YouTube videos, his tweets, setups. And I came to realize more that these stocks, they have a much bigger, they have more potential, they have much more potential than just a 1 day move. Generally you see that day traders target big moves and stocks with big moves and big volume. And it's like there's a reason there's big volume on that stock. And it's like if you zoom out a little bit and you just look at the bigger picture, there's a lot more to it than just that 1 day move and that, focused in view. And a lot of these stocks, like it's a difference between, like a 2 to 1 risk reward or a 3 to 1 risk reward and like a 10 or 20 to 1 risk reward. Especially back during COVID time, these things were just multiplying and it would just like outweigh the risk. It was just pretty obvious.
Yeah, and Christian's definitely one of the better people that you can use as inspiration. And his talk at Traders for a Cause 2023 was absolutely phenomenal. And I highly recommend everybody go to Project Impact and, if you can, donate and check in on Christian's presentation. That was one of the better ones of the weekend. And so for you, Judah, do you find that, like Christian, the swing trades are the types of setups that you're looking for and you feel most comfortable with now? And do you ever just trade intraday?
Yeah, so I find that swing trading is a lot more easier for my eye to catch. But there are also times where I will take day trades. And those are stocks that, they're either day one moves that have no daily chart set up there. And generally, I mean, you could say that that's an EP, but these like $1, $2, $3 micro cap and small cap stocks, there's not much to them, and there's generally not much to them afterwards. So things like that, is something that I may want to trade on day one, especially day three or day four, those liquidity trap T+2 setups. There's no daily chart there, but there is opportunity and there is, a small moment of opportunity for a squeeze. And like, it's not something that you would want to swing trade, but it's obvious sometimes as things hold up and shorts need to cover. And, that's just, there's no daily setup there for me to hold on to. And there's also the mean reversion type setups, which are also broken daily charts that may provide, a small window of opportunity to take. Mostly these setups at the end of the day don't have a daily chart behind them. So it's just these like and it's very rare, but it's just stocks that have a good trend intraday for whatever reason it is, but there's no daily chart and it's not an EP for whatever reason.
And do you think there are any additional benefits to swing trading compared to purely intraday trading? Do you think maybe for beginners, swing trading is better, or would you recommend that they stick to intraday?
I think there's a probably much faster learning curve if you would day trade. I do find, however, that over the long term, if you want to grow a really big account, then swing trading is the only way to do it. And I mean, there's a lot of positives on why you would want to swing trade over day trade. Swing trading, I mean, it's a lot slower. You have a lot more time to think. You have a lot more time to, look at your risk and reward and evaluate a setup properly. and, determine whether or not you really want to take this setup. If you think about it, the daily chart is just an intraday chart, and instead of the 1 minute candles, they're daily candles. So whatever you look for intraday, you have days to look for on the daily chart. And I mean, we all talk about trading being so free, and we talk about freedom, not having to work for a boss, not having to go to the city, and not having to, it's time consuming, and it's just the freedom about trading, doing what you want to do. But once you start day trading, your eyes are glued to that screen, and there is no freedom throughout the day. Like there was times where I was trading pre-market, and I really didn't want to trade pre-market, and it was a stock that started moving at 7:30 a.m. and I was sitting there 7:30 a.m. and I missed out on other trades because my eyes were glued to that chart instead of like seeing what else was moving pre-market. And on top of that, I mean, even if this thing were to do something, which a lot of times it doesn't, it just sits there and goes sideways all day. I mean, even if it does something and you're out, you're always looking for another area to get back in. So like although you're out of it, you're still glued to it. Like some people get married to those stocks for the day or whatever it is, and you're still sitting there just watching it. Even though you're not in it, you're waiting for another opportunity to get in and take that trade. And I just think that, it's not worth the moves that you get out of them. A lot of the times these things go a lot further with a lot less effort.